Yo, what is up guys, Fly back here with another video. Today I'm going to talk to you guys about probably the most cursed Melffy deck of all time. Now, I would have done this profile in real life, and I do own almost every single card on this deck list. However, there's one small problem, and that's, I don't own Eldlands, and I don't have alphas, and they haven't come in the mail yet, unfortunately. But when my alphas do come in the mail, I do have another Melffy profile to show you. However, until then, I'll leave you with this absolutely cursed Melffy deck. Now, you're probably wondering, Vlad, what the actual F am I looking at? Well, this is Eldritch Melffy, but it's not Melffy in the traditional sense, as you know. Maybe some of you don't even know what Melffy is, to be fair, but, so, for those that do know what Melffy is, or maybe just to explain for those who don't know, the entire point of Melffy is that all the Melffy monsters have effects where if your opponent normal special summons a monster or the Melffy monster itself is declared for an attack, they bounce themselves back to hand to do something. Puppy summons a level 2 lower from deck, Caddy adds any beast from deck to hand, and Pony adds a level 2 or lower beast from grave to hand. Now, all of this is pretty powerful just because of the fact of this card, Joyous Melffy's, is absolutely ridiculous. It has this effect where during your opponent's turn, you can bounce itself back to the extract to summon the materials underneath it, and that's pretty strong because of cards like Obedience Schooled, being able to summon Puppy, Cat, and Kalantosa from your deck. Kalantosa is a card that can destroy any card in the field if it's special summoned by the effect of a beast monster. Joyous is a beast monster, so is Melffy Puppy. You get where I'm going with this. You get a lot of pops in your opponent's turn by just abusing Kalantosa. However, in this deck, it's a bit different. So, we're playing 2 Hoppier Squadron in this deck just because of a cool little interaction you can do with the Golden Lands in Eldritch. So, the Golden Lands, they summon themselves as level 5s. And if you use Hoppier Squadron on them, you can Secret for 7. That's pretty cool. So you can make something like Black Rose Dragon or Psyframe Lord Zeta on your opponent's turn. Alternatively, if you have a Golden Lord on the field, you can use Hoppier Squadron on your Golden Lord to make Final Sigma. However, there is a slight amount of anti-synergy in this deck just because Scarlet Sanguine does indeed make it so you're locked into zombies for the rest of your turn. That does kind of suck. However, if you have something like Eldland, you can get the Lord onto the field pretty easily. Additionally, you're able to do things like dump dead Obedience Schools if you have monsters on the board to summon back your Lord. It's pretty cool. And among other things, obviously we're still playing Herald the Arclight to synchro with our Kalantosa on our opponent's turn. But let me just get quickly into the deck profile. So we're playing the 3 Caddy, the 3 Puppy, the 3 Caddy, the 3 Puppy, and the 3 Rescue Cat. Pretty standard to play in a Melffy deck. You can theoretically play less Caddy. However, in this deck, Caddy's a lot better because if you do draw like the unfortunate hand of like Caddy plus like a Golden Land, though that doesn't really do much on its own. However, since that we have the Hoppier Squadron in our deck and we also have multiple copies of it, we can kind of abuse it and make it so that our Golden Lands still have some kind of use, which is pretty cool. Caddy is a bit better in this deck. Also, we're playing Alpha. Alpha is a lot better this format than it was before because VFD is gone, so this card has gone a lot better. We're signing 2 more copies of it for when we go second, but the fact that the card is searchable in this deck is just good enough to warrant running a 1-of. We're also just playing the Pancrabs because that card's also just crazy, this format also. Playing the Pony. Pony gets back Hoppier Squadron. Hoppier Squadron is pretty strong in this deck, so we're going to be, you know, trying to add it back every turn. Now, we're only playing 2 of it, because we can't search it out, and the only reason why we're playing 2 is for, like, grind game situations where maybe we can't get the Pony, and we can just add another copy of it from our Caddy, or if our Melffy Head and Seek is destroyed. Next, we are playing the Alpha, obviously, to search off of Caddy. We're playing the 2 Hoppier Squadron. Like I said earlier, the 2 Kalantosa. You don't necessarily want to draw Kalantosas, that's why we're only playing 2, but we do need 2 just so we can summon 1 off of Puppy and summon 1 off of Obedience School, so we have double pops. Next, we're playing 2 Golden Lord. You could probably justify playing 1 of it, but I think that playing 2 of it is still fine just for like Eldritch mirror matchups. You probably do want a 2nd or 3rd copy of Lord even. And then just Ash and Gamma as our hand traps. Gamma's a super powerful hand trap, especially with Hoppier Squadron in our deck. If we draw Gamma and Hoppier Squadron, you can go Gamma on your opponent's turn, summon the Driver from deck, negate their monster effect, but then you can also go Hoppier Squadron to sync it with Driver to make an Omega on your opponent's turn, which is pretty sick. If you ask me. Next, we're playing the 1 Pankratops, super solid card in this format, super strong. I would probably main this in every deck this format, to be perfectly honest. Well, almost, I don't know. Some decks probably don't want to play it, but like this is a control deck. Games go a lot longer. Card's pretty strong. And then we're playing the Dark Magician and Red Eyes Black Dragon for Dragoon. Onto the spells, we're playing 3 Curse Eldland. It gets us the Golden Lord or a Golden Land card pretty strong. We got 3 Obedience School, absolutely busted star in this deck, gets us to Puppy, Kai, and Kalantosa. We make a Joyous and bang, that's a 5+5 off of just this card alone. And then we're playing 3 Prosperity to dig into Obedience School and Rescue Cat. That's essentially what this is for. As for cards you'd be banishing off of this, when you're going first, you're generally taking out, like, your Zeus, Pleiades, you can even take out Final Sigma. It depends, it really depends on if you know what matchup you're going into. Sometimes you can even take out Link Spider if you don't really need it. There's a couple of extra cards you don't necessarily need in this deck. The main ones you kind of do want to keep is like Black Rose, depending on the situation, Zeta, and then obviously the Verte and the Dragoon. Honestly, the most important ones are just Joyous Melffys and the Herald of the Arclight, to be perfectly honest. Yeah. Anyway, and then we're playing the one Melffy hide and seek. This is just a searchable pot of avarice. You can search off Melffy of the Forest. That's basically what it's played for. It's also a pretty good card into trap decks, because it does make it so your Melffy monster, first time each of your beast monsters will be destroyed by card effect, it's not destroyed, and that's pretty strong because of cards like Torrential Tribute that we're playing, so it makes it so that we can actually protect ourselves from our own Torrential Tribute, so making it so our Melffys don't die, but also protects us from our opponent's Conquistadors and Dogmatic Opponents, which is pretty sweet. Next on to the trap cards, we're playing the 3 Sanguine, the 3 Golden Conquistador, and only 2 Haquero. I did have to kind of screw around with the ratios in this deck. As you see, there's a bunch of 2-ofs over here, but that's only because of Trap Trick. You could realistically cut the Trap Trick and play 3 of each of the other traps. And, like, maybe even cut, like, a Hop-Eared Squadron and, like, Pony and Hide and Seek, maybe. A lot of these are optional. I'm playing 60 cards just for crackhead reasons, to make it the most cursed deck ever, obviously. And then, yeah, once again, 2 Trap Trick, 2 Ice Dragon's Prison, 2 Torrential, and 2 Dynamiscus. Because sometimes you want these cards, sometimes you want this one, or this one, you know? And sometimes you even want, like, Sanguine, you know? Usually this is just for Sanguine, to be honest. But I don't know. I think Trap Trick's really weird in this deck, because it means that you can't use the other traps for a certain turn. But so you'd have to use that as like your last trap card, so it's weird. You never necessarily want to draw multiples of this. But you could just play 3 of this, to be perfectly honest. There's just like, weirdly enough, there's no space. I just want to play all of these cards, you know? I don't have space for all of them. Anyway, then 3 Judgment, 3 Strike. Pretty powerful trap cards. You could maybe justify cutting at the Judgment from the deck, to be perfectly honest. And then maybe playing 3rd copies of each of these, or whatever. And then 3 Strike. Strike is just a posted trap card. And then for the X Strike, we got Dragoon, we got Final Sigma for synchroing with Lord, we got Omega for synchroing with Driver, we got Zeta for synchroing with the Golden Land, Black Rose Dragon to synchro with the Golden Land, 2 Herald of the Arclights to synchro with your Calyptosa, got Pleiades to make with your 2 Golden Land. Honestly, this is a card you could probably cut from the X Strike to play like Gustav Pact or something like that. Then we got Sky Thunder, we're always playing Zeus. 2 Joyous, this is for when your first Joyous gets interrupted, but this is once again a card you could probably cut down to 1 to have more extra space. 1 Melffy of the Forest, this is just there to search Hide and Seek, that's literally the only purpose of this card. If you're not playing Hide and Seek, you could probably just get away with not playing this at all, to be perfectly honest. 1 Link Spider to turn these into effect monsters to make Anaconda. And then we're playing Anaconda because Dragoon is game, this format. And also, there are times where you could just go Dragoon pass. That's fine. Like, you could, like, realistically, if you Gamma on your own turn, you can just go Gamma Summon Driver, turn Driver into Link Spider, make Vertain, that's Dragoon, and that's probably game over, to be perfectly honest. And then 1 Unicorn. Just 1. Why am I playing Unicorn? Who knows. Anyway, next to the side deck, we got 2 more copies of Alpha. Alpha's a good card. Cool. Next, we got 3 Nibiru. Good hand trap. We got 3 Lancia. Good hand trap. You could honestly maybe even you could argue playing this in the main deck, to be perfectly honest. This card's so broken in the main deck. And then we got back removal in the form of Lightning Storm and Harpy's Fire Dash. You could play evenly inside of this, to be perfectly honest, but I like Lightning Storm a little bit more because you don't really tend to have face-up cards on the field. And you can kind of get away with having like no face-up cards on the field. Because a lot of the time you're gonna have like set traps or whatever, and if you're bored, like if you have no monsters on the board, you're generally not gonna have any face-up spells or traps, apart from like Eldland, which you can just get rid of by using Lord Engrave, adding it to hand, and then not using Lord's effect, as like not using Lord to summon itself, just keeping it off. So you can actually still use Lightning Storm in the mid to late game. Evenly, not so much, because you are probably going to have cards on the board. And thankfully, the Melffys all put themselves back in the hand. So, once again, you're able to use your Lightning Storm, which is pretty cool. And then Harpy's Fire Dust, which is busted. You can't really play Red Reboot in this deck. This isn't really an OTK deck, so you can't really justify playing it. And then we also have the 3 anti-spell in the side deck as well. Another busted card. If you anti-spell your opponent, they're going to set their spells. And then you just absolutely savage them by using Calyptosas on your opponent's turn with Joyous Melffys, popping their back row, and it's just... their back row just dies. You're just flying through their back row, 1 by 1. So yeah, that's the deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this Cursed Melffy deck, and I'll see you guys next time. Make sure to comment down below what you think about the Cursed Melffy deck. I will try to get you an in-person deck profile at some point. Not of this specific version, more of a pure Melffy deck. But I hope you guys enjoy this cursed Melffy deck. In the meantime, let me know what you guys want profiled next in the comments down below. And make sure to subscribe and like as always if you liked the video, and if you didn't, then why are you here? You know, why are you still here? Why are you still watching the video? How did you get here? Hate watching? Weird. Anyway, I'll see you guys next time.